Hello Ron and Joyce, my name is Philip Rulo with Rultract, and I'm going to quickly explain the difference between the clamp that's included in the sets that you currently have in-house and the clamp that would be included in the set that the OR had requested the quote on today. First of all, the clamp that you have in your sets that you currently use is a 4150 square tip scrub applied double bend post clamp. So your tip is going to be square and your tightening knob is on the top. So when you apply this clamp to the OR cable bed rail, the knob to tighten the clamp is on the top, and that may make a difference for OR protocol. Next, we have the clamp that's included in the set that the OR had requested the quote for today. Now the difference is going to be on this clamp, which is a 4160S double bend post clamp that's circulator applied. The difference is the tip is actually a spline tip, so you can see the difference between the square and the spline, and the tightening knob is on the bottom. So when that's applied to the OR table bed rail, the knob to tighten this clamp is on the bottom, and that may make a difference again for OR protocol. Now the reason that we caution against having a square and a spline system in-house is because it's very easy to confuse the two systems. They are both used for the same procedure and they look very similar. Now yes, you can see a square tip and a spline tip does look different. However, the posts look exactly the same. The spline post and the square post look the same, and you can't tell the difference between the two unless you look at it and you see that it's actually engraved spline here, and on the square it'll say square. The challenge then becomes in educating the sterile processing staff to let them know what the square means and what the spline means. And of course the square always has to go with the square and the spline always has to go with the spline. The challenge, obviously, as you all know, can be very difficult in educating a staff that's constantly turning over and making sure that everybody knows exactly the difference between the spline and the square. The reason it matters is if these things get confused and they make it up to the OR and they're mixed up, and you put a spline post on top of a square post clamp, this is what's going to happen, okay? You can't use this in an OR for the procedure that this equipment is designed for. It's supposed to go on and lock into place and not move. So if you do get them confused and you only have two, let's say, well, this one's wrong, and then you're going to call, the OR is going to call downstairs to sterile processing and say, bring me the other tray. Well, the other tray is going to be wrong too. So hopefully they don't contaminate the one, and they can switch them over, and then they will be just fine. But the point is, I've worked 20 plus years in this business. I've worked with a lot of sterile processing departments, and even some of the best departments that we work with, these do get confused. So if you can eliminate that possibility, I would suggest, if you have square systems, I would suggest sticking with the square systems and not to mix the two. And to think that it would not happen, hopefully none of us are that naive to think that that'll never happen, because of course it certainly can. Anyway, again, my name is Philip. Thanks for watching the video. I hope that helped further explain the differences. Have a nice day.